Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 human versus human cast. I know it's weird I have to specify that, but it's been a while since I did just a pro player cast on my channel, so let's get hyped for this. In the top left we have got SHIN, aka Ragnarok, which is both two very cool names he's had. And in the top right, it is Stats, one of the greatest Protoss players of all time. Two incredible Korean players going to be playing a beautiful match of StarCraft 2 for us. This is from the GSL, round of 8, so I'm probably going to start casting those regularly, as I did elect to join the GSL patron. So if you guys enjoy these, make sure to go ahead and slap that like button. Subscribe to this channel if you're not, and leave a comment down below saying more games if you want to see more of these human versus human games. As, yeah, these two players are incredible. We've got a bit of a cheeky cheese coming out of SHIN to start things off. SHIN has his natural blocked by Stats' pylon, and we have had a hatchery blocking the natural of Stats. So this is a common, well, it's an old strategy on the ladder, but pros use it from time to time, as of course it forces the Protoss to pull probes off the line, and it does require a bit of specified response. That's why we see Stats chrono boosting out the Zealot, getting up his Cyber Core, and interestingly enough, he did leave that pylon. He did leave that pylon to finish at the natural of SHIN, forcing SHIN to expand to his third base, but Stats has gone in. He's confirmed that it is indeed just a hatchery first. Well, just a regular time spawning pool, so he doesn't have to worry about too many units popping out of this hatchery. There's no roach warren or anything like this. So, no big concern there for SHIN, or for Stats, pardon me. It looks like this drone is still running around. It's not going to be able to steal a gas, as Stats already has both of those taken. And then it's just going to try and get on out of there. Potentially come and try and block this Nexus again, but no. That shall not happen. And the game will stabilize here. As, yeah, SHIN, he delayed his own economy to delay the economy of Stats a little bit. Whether it was worth it is up for debate. Stats dealt with that pretty much textbook. As it's not like there's a lot of variety you can do with that build. It's just like, oh, build a hatchery at your opponent's natural, and that's about it. Then cancel it and go into macros. So that's what we're seeing SHIN do. He's going to kill this pylon that Stats left to build, and then he's going to go up for that third hatchery on the way. All the while behind this, Stats is now going for a Stargate. Stargates are, of course, the bread and butter of Protoss in the PvZ matchup. But I mean, we take a look here, and just this build I don't think has worked out too well for SHIN. He's a little bit behind, as Stats dealt with that incredibly well as you possibly can do. So he's going to have up his Nexus. He's going to be on 30 probes by the time that's done, just about. Whereas SHIN is only on 22 drones, and yeah, he's going up to 3 bases. But I think the delay that was caused by doing that was not worth it so far. SHIN, however, is making quite a few Zerglings. That's part of the reason why he's got so few drones, is that he's looking to get a bit of a run by if he can catch Stats off guard. There's 2 Adepts now moving out for Stats. And these players are in a bit of an uncomfortable position because of that build. Like, Stats has got to be thinking, okay, is he throwing down a Roach Warren or a Baneling Nest and going to be going aggressive against me? Still, though, Stats playing very, very calm and collected. He says, I'm going for a third base. I'm pretty sure you're not cheesing me. We see Ling's trying to get a wraparound on these Adepts. Looks like the 2 Adepts do go down. The Oracle tries to save them, but fails. That's got to make Stats a little bit more uncomfortable. However, he still says, you know what? I'm still making that third Nexus. These Lings are going to get to work on that. The Oracle doesn't have that much energy. It can pop its Pulsar Beam, but that's going to run out of energy real quick. Stats feeling a little bit of heat with these Lings being a big nuisance, and then he did have to burn all that Oracle energy on one of those Oracles, so he's not really going to be able to harass with both of them. We've got this one flying on in there, but it's got basically 0 energy, while the other one has to try and chase down these Lings. So all in all, it's not looking too bad for SHIN with this little bit of poking and prodding. I bet he's almost wishing like, oh man, why didn't I just Ling Flood you? Or something like that. Now, though, that Oracle has built up a little bit of energy, enough to maybe get 1 or 2 volleys off with that Pulsar Beam, and so there is a pop-off there. 3 drones do go down. That's looking pretty darn good here for Stats getting those 3 drones. The worker count is still really even, which does not benefit the Zerg. Stats did get that 3rd Nexus up, so all of a sudden, it's a 3 base against 3 base. Protoss with a very good worker count. SHIN has still got quite a bit of work to do, I think, to come back in this game to get something done against Stats. He is making a Roach Warren, and that could be really good for him, as, I mean, Roach attacks have killed Protoss time and time again. We've got good queen positioning for SHIN for the most part to intercept these Oracles. Gonna make them think twice about committing on in there, but the Adepts did commit into the natural. They're gonna get 3 drones, and then in come the Oracle to try and get a couple more. So all in all, 4 drones go down, and that officially gives the Protoss the worker lead momentarily, which is really darn good for the Protoss. And I'm just wondering if SHIN is just gonna start making roaches from this point on, because he doesn't have that much going for him. He doesn't have a 4th base on the way, and in like 2 minutes, Stats is gonna have Tech starting to come online. He's got Blink on the way, but no, SHIN just says, Lair, Evo Chamber, I'm gonna play this out. No big aggression is coming from the Zerg, and he will start his 4th, but not the best timing there. 6.5 minutes. There's been faster 4ths for Zergs, and just comparatively to the Protoss's economy, it's a little bit worrisome. Okay, we have got Stats doing what Stats does best now. He is going for lots of cannons, lots of batteries at his bases. 2 cannons and 2 shield batteries shows that Stats is respecting this. He's saying, that Zerg could be going for some aggression with just on the turn of a dime. So yeah, it's a little bit concerning for SHIN, but it is good for him that Stats is committing into those cannons, into those batteries. Those are not cheap, and that's going to mean that Stats isn't going to power up quite as quickly. So that's going to give SHIN a little bit of time to breathe in this game. He's got a Hydra Den on the way now. Let's see, we've got 6 Hydras being produced, +1 on the way. Groove Spine's on the way. Groove Spine's probably one of the better upgrades in the game. Extra attack range is so critical for those Hydras. Oh, Queens target down the wrong Oracle. They could have potentially killed the injured one there. Instead, they targeted the one with full shield, so that's not great. Oracle's still moving around for Stats, getting lots of revelations off. Protoss needs to know what the Zerg's going for, and Stats, I believe he has seen that Hydra Den, so he's got a fair idea. Lots of Ravagers are now being made by the Zerg, however, so this could just be a big old muscly attack by SHIN. Roaches, Ravagers on the way. He's going to be looking to break Stats. Look at how slow these Hydras are off of creep without their speed upgrade, muscular augments. That's not going to potentially get researched this game, though. Now SHIN is going to work on the back rocks of these maps. Ghost River with these rocks on the back here. Gonna give the Zerg another potential attack path here. The maps in this pool are a little bit odd. There's all sorts of quirks to them. So all of a sudden, Stats has to deal with a Zerg that's just breaking down his natural. As we take a look, the Protoss has got Psystorm 10 seconds out. It's gonna require some really big hits, though. As I mean, dealing with Roach Ravagers with mainly just Stalkers, it's not easy. We see the Oracles pop their Pulsar Beams, actually getting a lot of damage done instead of just getting picked off right away. The Immortal does go down. Big Psystorms are getting dropped, and now those High Templar are morphed into 2 Archons, so we're seeing probes go down, but not that many probes have perished here. And SHIN is going for the army. He's going for the throat. He doesn't want to just kill a bunch of probes. He wants to win the game, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen here. The other Archon does perish. Stats can always fall back to his batteries and cannons. There is now a Ravager, some Lings in his base. These are killing off probes. Stats, though, is on the verge of cleaning this up, it seems. Where's the reinforcements for SHIN? Lots more roaches scurrying, scuttling like the roaches they are across the map. And we've seen 15 probes go down for the Protoss. That being said, Stats has got a 4th base done. He's got this 3rd and 4th lockdown with cannons, with batteries, and so I think he held on. And so for SHIN, pardon me, it might have been better if he just tried to get a couple more probes there. He's not done yet, though. I mean, when a Zerg commits to something like this, they are committed, so more Ravagers, more Hydras on the way. What does Stats have? He's got 6 more High Templar, but they're about 10-15 seconds away from having Psystorm energy. I mean, once they do, though, that's going to pose big problems for the Zerg trying to come on in here, particularly if he tries to go up this ramp. He's going to try and go up this ramp. Is there Psystorm available? Not quite, but in seconds there will be. So in goes SHIN. I think he even cross-bowed a couple of his own units. Roaches attacking on in. While this is going on, we've got a counterattack or another attack with the Roaches, but they eat that stasis ward. There's just too much static defense. And we see Stats holding on, but the supply. Oh, the supply. It's 190 to 120. That is not good for the Protoss. And I'm not sure if Stats is going to be able to hold on here. These Roaches are probably going to die, as there is just a cannon, Stalkers waiting for them. In comes the rest of the Zerg, though, finding a better angle. We see SHIN attack in. Ravagers and Roaches split off, though. The army kind of splitting itself up for Stats to potentially kill it. We see High Templar drop their Psystorm and then morph into an Archon. The Archon stays alive too, and so far Stats is doing a beautiful job holding on. That injured Archon in the back, not getting killed. That's a big value target there. We see this one Roach does kill off the Stalkers that were set to deal with it, so that's not bad. While this is going on, we see Roaches breaking into the natural. SHIN, pardon me, is attacking on in once again, getting lots of damage done. 15 more probes perishing. He still hasn't killed Stats, though, but now Stats is down to less than 100 supply. That is not good for the Protoss. He's not really mining at his 4th base. We see SHIN gearing up for yet another attack. This is just how it goes. When you try to go for the throat, you're not done until you know, one of you's dead. And SHIN is looking to get that kill off on Stats. I mean, Stats doesn't have the cannons at this 4th base anymore. He's warped in more High Templar. He's got seemingly Psystorm energy soon to be on 4 of these, but it's not ready yet, and in comes that Zerg force. Let's see, can he take a trade? I mean, SHIN's scared, though, so he's pulling back. He's going for a big Ling run by Roaches with this 2 to add a bit more muscle to the attack. This is going to divert Stats' attention, so these Zealots are going to go down. We see Stalkers warping in to deal with this. A Gateway is going to get killed off, but the Roaches aren't really being microed right now. Now they're going in to face these Stalkers, to face the Zealots that we're defending. While this is going on, there's an attack down to the bottom here. A couple Archons trading out. No, just one of them dies. That other one, yes, it does get popped off. That's really good for SHIN. That being said, though, Stats is still holding on, and what a game this is for my first human versus human cast in a long time. And this is the reason why I love Pro Starcraft. These guys are just, they have an idea in their mind, and they're both just trying to play it out as well as they can. SHIN's attacks have failed time and time again, though. So he's getting a little bit concerned here. He's going to be expanding, actually, and so I think he's officially throwing in the towel. And that means that Stats has done his job of holding on for now. That being said, there's a Baneling nest on the way, so potentially Baneling speed going to get research for SHIN. He's making 14 Ravagers, which is just a ludicrous amount. That is like over 1,000 gas in Ravagers. And now SHIN's still looking for damage. He's still got an incredible supply lead. Stats has held on to phenomenal Protoss upgrades. I haven't talked about this game, but they've definitely been playing a part. 3-2 for Protoss against just 2-0 for the Zerg is really darn good for the Toss. I mean, usually Toss has attack. They don't always have the great armor, but Stats has got that armor this game. And so that's putting SHIN in a position which he's just not been able to take the trades that he needs. It's still a very scary Zerg army here. I'm waiting to see if he goes in for another attack. If Stats potentially attacks on in, he could overcommit if he does elect to get aggressive. I mean, the Protoss is so confident with the Psystorm, with the Archons, with the Immortals. He's like, all right, what do you have, Zerg? And the answer is 200 supply of Zerg with 31 Banelings on the way for the Zerg. In comes Stats. He's looking for some damage. We see Roaches and Raptors getting on top of the High Templar, forcing out a lot of the Psystorm there. and that is actually big because SHIN didn't trade out too much for that. Now we see in go the Banelings, but it's a nasty choke point. Corrosive Bow's littering the battlefield. There's no Baneling speed yet, and that also increases their HP, so they just get popped off quite easily. Stats is coming in. He's going for blood. While this has gone on, 22 probes have died. More Banelings committed on in. I didn't see that all the Banes weren't being used for defense, but that means SHIN has got to hold on here. He's got to deal with the Protoss army attacking him. He's got incredible damage done on the other side of the map. 36 probes are all Stats has, so all SHIN needs to do is hold on. Corrosive Bow's going down, kills off the Prism, so there's no more reinforcements. Drones are being pulled into this. SHIN knows how important this is. Supplies are neck and neck. Army supplies, though, look at mighty good for the Protoss. And has Stats been able to do it? I think he has those upgrades, really giving his units a lot of longevity. SHIN trying to take down the Immortal, but he doesn't succeed. And oh man, what a game that was for my first cast of a pro game in a long time. Like, that was just non-stop talking. I'm like, whew. Bot games are a little bit more paced, whereas human games are just non-stop aggression. So if you guys enjoyed this one, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not and you watched all the way to the end, join the Discord, consider becoming a YouTube member if you do want to support the channel. That can help pay it forward, as I am subscribed to the GSL to get their replays. And then yeah, what was the last one? Oh yeah, leave a comment if you want to see more of these human games, or just leave a comment in general, as it does help out with the YouTube algorithm there. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for tuning on in. Before I go though, I just want to say, in this game, like, we saw SHIN. I don't know how many Banelings he committed to that run by, but that's 20 Banelings. Okay, no, not 20, like 18 Banelings that he committed to that attack. If he had those for the defense, and the timing was so crisp here, centrifugal hooks, increased movement speed. Maybe they got rid of the plus 5 HP. I guess they may have actually done that. Pardon me, but regardless, like, this attackman, it killed so many probes here at this base. Like, we're gonna see so many probes got killed here. But there was almost 2 volleys as, like, the Banelings kept on going. So it's like, that was really good. And that could have been done with 10 Banelings. If SHIN had been able to delay the fight a little bit till he had centrifugal hooks, if he had kept those 10 Banelings back at home, maybe he still would have got that critical damage done, while also being able to hold off against Stats. And that is just so difficult for SHIN. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for tuning in.